Well, the Fantasy FUT leaks do begin, and also the League of Player of the Month winner has been announced, and let's just say nobody will be happy with the result. That's what we're gonna say about that, and also we've got some Team of the Week leaks to go and talk about as well. This is your last chance right now to send me teams. Right here above my head is a Twitter handle. Send me a DM or tweet at me, do whatever you want to. I'll be recording that video in a few hours from now, so last chance to send me your teams. Also, before we get into really anything today, if you guys want to buy coins, you can go to mmoxp.com. The link is in the description. Use my code JFC at checkout for a 5% discount. Team of the Year Holland, I've had on loan for a while now. I ended up, I think, opening a couple packs and ended up getting him in both of my loans to kind of combine him. This card is probably the best striker in the game. I know I've only used him for 14 games, so it's hard to make that assumption already. But I know it also isn't really a surprise to anybody, but I know some years Holland kind of is more hype than he is actually insane at the game or in the game. But yeah, this card is actually a joke. And one of the reasons for it also is Aerial Plus. If you guys have not used too many cards with Aerial Plus, they actually have a lot of use in many situations that you really wouldn't think they would or wouldn't think to use them before this year. Situations where you kind of cross into the box that you kind of wouldn't previous to this year, that you can really use Aerial Plus players. Like, that's where his 5 assists have come from. They just come from me L1 squaring it into the box. He heads it down to somebody in the box with a lot of the pro players have done, and Eusebio, who passes to, ends up scoring a goal. I think I'm gonna make a video soon just like highlighting almost every play style and their uses and almost like a tier list with them, kind of break them all down, because I do feel like there's some playstyle pluses like Aerial that kind of go under the radar, and if you watch pro events you'll see some of these playstyles be more used, but Aerial's one that almost every pro using their team. This Courtois down here will have my bench as a sub. This card was almost in every single pro player's team as a super sub because of Aerial Plus, first touch, press proven, technical, and he has some good all-around stats. Dribbling are 99 really on every important stat there with 99 jumping, and he's 6'6". So he won everything in the air. So Courtois was in a lot of pro teams, and once I saw that, I'm like, okay, we got something's going on here. There's more playstyles like that. They're kind of underrated that people I think should use more often. Everyone's playstyle is just a little bit different, right? So if Aerial's really good, you might end up being a better FIFA player by putting an Aerial card in your team because maybe you cross the ball more often, and you know that's just kind of how you play. Certain things like that. But also this party bag that came out today, 1 of 4 team of the group stage, winter wild cards, FC versus players. We'll open this at the end. I was seeing almost nobody getting anything good out of this. It's very cheap though, 85 rated team of the week. It is cheap, but we'll open that at the end of the video today. And also, we're like 10 subs away from 12K. Subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the content, and thank you all. Once again, Axel Dizazi came out today, who got leaked like a couple hours before content. Pundit Picks SBC that we saw would be coming out sometime this week. And he looks pretty good. You know, block plus I think is okay. It's not great though. Medium high, 6'3". He does have 99 strength. 90 reactions is good. The passing is pretty decent too. 86 sprint speed. I think he's going to be pretty good. Honestly, I really do. I wish he had intercept or anticipate. He doesn't really have either one of those. So maybe he won't be tier 1 card, but he might be, you know, in that tier 2 sort of range, but still probably worth doing if you need a center back in your team, and he's not that expensive, so. But all right, leaks and news, let's begin. FC Fantasy Upgrade Path. This is the next promo coming up on this Friday. Players are eligible for a +4 inform upgrade. They are live cards, but let's take a look at some of these like requirements here, because they're a little interesting, but this is also a typo. It's the 23rd of February, I believe, when this begins, so the day the promo drops, this actually begins. So let's start with the first inform upgrade here, and that is for attackers and midfielders. A player achieves 1 goal or assist in the next 4 games. Some cards definitely won't get that, but I would assume, you know, a decent portion will be getting a goal or an assist in the next 4 games. Club wins 2 in the next 4 domestic league games. You would hope the majority of teams would get that one, because knowing EA, we'll probably see mostly players from really good clubs in this promo. Player makes 3 appearances in the next 4 domestic league matches. This one also you'd hope would be pretty common. Honestly, the majority of cards would hopefully get this one. Then look at this last one here. Club scores 11 goals in the next 4 domestic league matches. So they have to almost average 3 goals a game for the next 4 domestic league games. That one is going to be extremely difficult to do. I'm not going to lie. Now, I kind of don't hate it because I do kind of like how only maybe 1 or 2 cards will get like some crazy inform upgrade. However, it is tied to like, it almost has to be one of the best teams. So a Man City, an Arsenal, a Liverpool, a Man United, just kidding. Those would be the types of clubs that you would actually see have any realistic chance to get this. Now, these two you would hope most of the teams could get there. But I will say is it's just inform upgrades. This says no playstyle plus upgrades at all. and also no weak foot or skill move upgrades either. So my guess is the majority of these cards will come out with 2 playstyle pluses, because obviously we're not 4 weeks away from team of the season, and 4 domestic league matches. There might even be a midweek game in there possibly. I don't know exactly what the schedules will look like, but anyway, this is definitely before team of the season, and they don't want 3 playstyle pluses until after team of the season, or probably when team of the season begins, right? So it will just be in-form upgrades, really, it looks like, until then. And, you know, what do you guys think? And there will also be heroes in this promo, too. Usually the heroes are upgraded by picking a club, and then it's kind of like this objective here where club wins 2 in the next 4, and then maybe it'll be a club scores however many goals in the next 4 as well. Something like that will be the case for the heroes. But now, Liga and Player of the Month, we said it would be announced today. It was announced today, except it was not Mbappe. It was not Ben Yedder, who I assumed would win it if Mbappe didn't win it. It's actually Terrier. And listen, I'm pretty sure Terrier is having like a fantastic season. I think he had a fantastic season last season, and he's having one this season again. So good for him to win the Player of the Month. But us FIFA fans obviously probably wanted one of Mbappe or Ben Yedder. But instead, we're getting Terrier. I always do wish that EA would juice these types of cards up because they're real life related. A card like Terrier isn't maybe the most hyped up player in the world yet. But maybe we can start that up by giving him a really good Player of the Month card. You know, Atal isn't some crazy hyped up real life player, but he is in FIFA because he's had so many great cards over the years. You know, EA can create these really hyped up cards that aren't necessarily the biggest names in the world by giving them near or toward the power curve cards. But they just refuse to do that unless their name is a big Premier League player's name. It seems like they a lot of times refuse to do that. But, you know, like I said, maybe we'll start to see 2 playstyle pluses on these Player of the Month cards. We got some Team of the Week leaks. Let's begin. Angel Correa in Team of the Week 23 looks like he is on the way. Next up is Gianluigi Donnarumma. So at least a high-rated player in this next Team of the Week, it looks like. And the biggest name probably is right here. It's Martin Odegaard, who will be in the team. I don't think the card's probably going to look amazing. We've also got David Neres here leaked as well. This card looks really juiced. I don't know if he knows it's a featured one or not, but yeah, Neres in the team there. And actually, just since the last time I looked, we've got more Team of the Week leaks, so let's just quickly go through these. Joao Gomez is going to be in the team. We've got Bastoni, Inter center back there. You got Gioro, who actually could have a pretty decent card if they decide to make her a featured Team of the Week. Her Centurion card was very expensive for a while, but knowing EA, that probably won't happen. Jonathan David's in the Team of the Week there. We have got Knauf, not sure how to say his name, and we have got Tavernier in the team as well. Also, I got this tweet from Chewboy a few days ago. I like looking at his Twitter because he used to work at EA and kind of gives an insight on kind of what they're thinking at times, probably. He says, looking back at these 2 tweets about FC24 in September and November, the year is playing out as I expected. And here is the tweet he's talking about. Moment I saw early access, I knew what kind of year we were getting. Long story short, EA execs had to show FC24 can still print money without FIFA. Also, World Cup hype was this time last year, so numbers have to be better than that too. Could potentially lead to earlier user burnout, but risk they're willing to take. This weekend is going to be crazy, and this was November 22nd, which was Black Friday weekend. And here we get back to this original tweet here. To beat FIFA 23 and World Cup hype, they risked pushing the store to the limit, and it worked so far. In quarter 3, FC24 sold less copies, but made more money than FIFA 23. This period we're now in, TOTS waiting room, will be very interesting. Will people fatigue quicker than usual before and after TOTS? Will that fatigue bleed into FC25? Twitter would make you think so, but take it with a grain of salt. The earnings report tells you the truth. That being said, I expect them to go crazy for TOTS, bigger than Team of the Year, triple play style pluses, million coin packs, etc. I disagree with some of this, I'm not gonna lie. And first thing maybe I'll say is, you know, he says Twitter would make you think so. The people are getting burned out with this game, but the earnings report tells you the truth. It does in one sense because, yeah, they did make more money than last year, right? They made more money than last year, so technically success in their eyes, right? But what the problem with that might be is this, right? Fatigue quicker than usual before and after TOTS. Will that fatigue bleed into FC25? We don't know. It might not at all, or it definitely could. But if people fatigue a lot quicker than they did before, then you're not going to make as much money during TOTS as you did before. But I think the only way to say it worked so far is really to see what the long-term effects of what they're doing are. Is it going to drive people away, or is it bringing a bunch of new people in? You know, I don't know, but I just don't think you can say it worked so far for sure. Yes, they're making more money, so in one sense, you have to say, well, of course it's working. Well, yeah, in one sense, it is working, but also we don't know what the long-term effects are whatsoever of this. And Tom Lees, who's part of Hashtag, says, you see this slowing down at any point, like for FC25, The power curve seems unsustainable to me long term, but we all know it's making them big money right now. Boy says if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So not much changes unless they see an early decreased numbers FC25 launch, pre-orders, copies sold at launch, dip in FUT revenue, etc. That's the earliest, but if it still does numbers, things don't change. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying here, is we don't really know if this has been a success yet, because we don't know the numbers for next year yet. We don't know. Market stuff quickly. Future Stars Team 2, if you want to buy them, I actually kind of don't mind it before this new team. I think they will rise out of packs, honestly. The reason I say that is because FUT Fantasy, sorry, is a live promo, which means these new promo cards will probably be very expensive, and which means then the old promo cards almost always usually rise up. So actually, I'm kind of optimistic about these cards rising up out of packs, and I usually haven't been this year. And I always love investing in cards that are, you know, a couple 100K or less. Michael Olise is perfect for that, 91,000. Hoyland, 214. Rico Lewis, 277. Those are the kinds of cards I could definitely see rise, because my guess is that Fantasy FUT will be quite expensive. All right, let's read your comments, then we'll open the party bag SBC. At Unwreckable Games 99 says, why is there not a combined market, but there is crossplay? The reason there is because they're just afraid of cheaters. They don't care about the gameplay cheaters, because ultimately that doesn't really matter to them. Like if you lose to a cheater on one game of FUT Champs, like they don't care. But what they do care about is a coin glitch. A coin glitch or a mod or whatever is more likely to happen on PC, and they're afraid that, you know, coins will become glitched or modded or whatever. I'm pretty sure that's the reason they keep them separate. I think coin farming is also easier on the PC as well, I want to say. Well, that's the only reason they have them separate at all, is just because of the fact that they're worried about cheaters. That's really it. I got a ton of comments from PC players being like, yeah, it's rough right now. You know, I can say that the huge prices on meta cards does suck, but you can learn to cope with that. But the extinction on some cards for months or maybe even forever is bullshit. I mean, yeah, I'm just preaching to the choir at this point, but it's unacceptable. I mean, it's totally unacceptable. At Nola with a great summary on why people are pissed off right now with this game. Prepared to no end for Team of the Year, traded to 6 mil, saved hundreds of packs, got 0 blues, and now facing Team of the Year Messi's every game. While any Team of the Year I want is 8 mil at least. Fantastic company. You summed it up right there. I mean, who would want to deal with that? At Z-Blade says manual goalkeeping doesn't even up the skill gap. It just significantly reduces it by converting a super breakdown goal into a 50-50 coin flip by moving your goalkeeper to one side. I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. But even some pros have argued, hey, manual goalkeeping ups the skill gap because you can play mind games with them and you can read somebody at times. And listen, I think that's nonsense, because what should be the most important thing is converting the defensive breakdown that somebody has, but I can understand why you could argue it would slightly, really slightly up the skill gap. I don't think so myself, but you'll hear some pros argue that. I wish it wasn't in the game at all. I really don't, but I don't know. But okay, we've got the party bag pick ready to go. I saw nobody get anything good out of this, so we're just gonna rip it open and see if we can get extremely lucky, because I was gonna say because I hadn't been in a while, but yeah, that's not ideal. I'm gonna take Dabinia, I guess, but that's not great. All right, well, thank you for watching every day. Another video coming out later today. Love you all. See you over soon. Peace.